Hello and welcome everybody. This is the final part in our 2024-25 NFL predictions. Today we are going through the draft order and the playoff bracket. So let's start with the draft order real quick. I'm just going to go down the list. We'll start off with the number one pick. That will be the Minnesota Vikings, and I'll just run down the list here. Vikings, Patriots 2, 3 Panthers, 4 Raiders, 5 Titans, 6 Commanders, 7 Broncos, 8 Colts, 9 Giants, 10 Cardinals, 11 Chargers, 12 Bears, 13 Saints, 14 Jaguars, 15 Buccaneers, 16 Rams, 17 Bills, and 18 Browns. Those are all of the teams that did not make the playoffs, and there will be, set in stone based on our predictions. But here we are going through the playoff bracket. We are going to start with the AFC, like we've done with every part here. We'll go through, we'll crown the AFC champion, we'll go and crown the NFC championship, and talk through the Super Bowl. So we'll start with our first game, Bengals number 2 seed versus the Jets number 7 seed. And call me crazy, but I think the Jets are going to shock the world. They will be the second 7 seed ever to win a playoff game, and will go on to face the Chiefs in the second round. Now, we have number 3 Texans versus number 6 Steelers. The Steelers' playoff woes will continue. Unfortunately, the Texans are just too good. With the Bengals, I think Aaron Rodgers, with his experience, can exploit that defense, and it'll be a lot closer game than people think. There's a lot closer than you would think going through, 1 through 7 seed. I think any team could really win it. But that's the Jets and the Texans. We got the Dolphins and the Ravens. Ravens made it all the way to the AFC Championship game last year. Unfortunately, not this year. So 3 AFC North teams make it to the playoffs, and none of them move on to the divisional round. That's the Texans and the Dolphins. So we'll start with Chiefs and Jets. The Jets made it past the number 2 seed Bengals. They might have a chance to get past the Chiefs, but I just don't see it. I think Patrick Mahomes, that defense, I think the wide receiver core in the offense is a little better than it was last year, and they won the Super Bowl. The defense might be a little worse with them trading L'Jarius Sneed, but I think they'll be able to figure that out rather quickly on in the season and be good to be number 1 seed and go. Texans and Dolphins. This might be the Dolphins' year, but unfortunately, I got the Texans. I think C.J. Stroud is really going to lead his team, sort of like a Joe Burrow type run when they played the Rams and lost, which leads me into our final game, Chiefs and Texans. And Texans are going to shock the world here. They're going to beat the Chiefs and go on to the Super Bowl. Let's go through the NFC side now. We got the 2-7 Lions against the Seahawks. I've got the Lions beating the Seahawks in a game that I think will probably be a blowout. 3-6 Eagles, Cowboys, a divisional game. I think the Eagles beat the Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott kind of crumbles again in the playoffs. Eagles didn't have such a good year last year. I think they kind of rebound from that. 4-5 Falcons versus the Packers. I am going to take Jordan Love in the playoffs again against the Falcons. I think the Falcons will be a decent team, but I got the Packers. Which leads us to our number 1 versus number 5, 49ers versus Packers. Last year, the Packers almost beat the 49ers. Brock Purdy did not play his best. The 49ers in general did not play their best. And I think that will happen again this year. I think the Packers will beat the 49ers in another type of Jordan Love stepping up moment to show that he is really the starter of this team. He is their he's their generational QB. Then we've got the Lions and the Eagles in what promises to be a great game. I'm going to take the Lions. I think they're just too good right now, which leads us into a divisional game. You know how divisional games get. I've been saying it this whole series. Divisional games are crazy, but I'm going to take the Lions here to win. I think, again, they're just too good of a roster, which leads to the Super Bowl being the number 2 seeded Lions coming out of the NFC versus the number 3 seeded AFC Texans. This could be a game that's a little closer, almost like that Joe Burrow run with the Bengals against the Rams, and I think that's exactly how it's going to end up. I think the Lions are going to end up winning late, and they're going to win the Super Bowl after years of misery with their fan base. So there you have it. The Vikings get the number 1 overall pick, and the Lions will win the Super Bowl. Thanks for listening over these last 9 days. We will talk again very soon. Peace.